You know what I love about animals? Everyone acts like they're these pure, innocent creatures just trying to survive. Documentaries, cute Instagram reels, your aunt who posts hedgehog videos at midnight, all of them convinced that nature is beautiful and honest and good. Nature is not good. Nature is, in fact, full of the most dedicated, shameless, and frankly impressive con artists this planet has ever produced. These animals didn't go to business school. They didn't read the 48 laws of power. They just evolved into professional liars. And honestly, respect. Today we're counting down the 10 biggest scammers in the animal kingdom. No judgment, just admiration. Number 10. The liar bird. The guy who steals other people's personalities. Let's start gentle. The lyrebird is an Australian bird that can mimic almost any sound it hears. Chainsaws, camera shutters, car alarms, other birds. It basically builds an entire fake identity made of sounds it didn't create, then uses that identity to impress potential mates. It's catfishing, with feathers. The lyrebird doesn't have its own personality. It just absorbs everyone else's and presents it as original content. If you've ever met someone at a party who laughed at all your jokes, repeated your exact opinions back to you as if they just thought of them, and somehow charmed everyone in the room, that's a lyrebird. That's exactly what a lyrebird is doing. And it works. That's the part that stings. Number 9. The cuckoo outsourcing parenting since forever. The common cuckoo doesn't build nests, doesn't raise chicks, doesn't really parent. What it does instead is wait until another bird leaves its nest unattended, then sneaks in, removes one of the real eggs, and lays its own egg in the exact same spot. The host bird comes back, sees the egg, goes, "That's mine, I assume," and raises the cuckoo chick as its own. The cuckoo chick then hatches first, shoves all the other eggs out of the nest, and spends the next few weeks being fed constantly by parents who are not its parents, who are exhausted, who are feeding a bird that is now literally bigger than them, who have somehow not connected the dots. The cuckoo didn't just scam one bird, it committed identity fraud, evicted an entire family, and got free childcare for the duration of its childhood. This is not survival. This is a business model. Number 8. The firefly, Photiris genus. Honey trap, but make it bioluminescent female fireflies of the Photiris genus have figured out something special. Male fireflies of other species use specific light patterns to signal that they're looking for a mate. Each species has its own code, their own little blinking sequence. The Photiris female learned to mimic those signals. She blinks the pattern. The male from another species sees it, gets excited, flies over, and then gets eaten. She didn't just trick him into thinking she was interested. She used the promise of love to lure in a stranger and then consumed him. And she does this repeatedly. To multiple species, she learned several different codes specifically to broaden her victim pool. This is not predation. This is fraud with a side of murder. This is the animal kingdom's version of a scam email that somehow still works. Number 7. The mimic octopus. A scammer who can become 10 different scammers. Most animals on this list chose one scam and committed to it. The mimic octopus said, "Why limit yourself?" This creature, found in the waters of Southeast Asia, can impersonate multiple other animals, lionfish, flatfish, sea snakes, by changing not just its color, but its actual body shape and movement pattern. It picks the disguise based on whoever is currently threatening it. That's not camouflage. That's situational fraud. It's reading the room, identifying the most effective lie for this specific moment, and executing it in real time. The mimic octopus has a different con for every problem. It's not a scammer, it's a scam department. Number 6. The bolus spider patent-pending chemical deception. Female moths produce specific chemical signals, pheromones, to attract male moths. The males evolved to detect these signals over millions of years. It's a whole system. It works. The bolus spider synthesizes those exact pheromones. It produces the chemical that says, "I am a female moth, come find me." And then it swings a sticky ball of silk on a thread and catches the male moths who show up expecting a completely different kind of evening. It didn't just fake a signal, it reverse-engineered someone else's private communication system and turned it into a hunting trap. This spider committed intellectual property theft and then used the stolen IP to commit further crimes. It's impressive. It's wrong. It's both at the same time. Number 5. The orchid mantis. Too pretty to be trusted. The orchid mantis looks like a flower, not approximately like a flower, not, if you squint, like a flower. It looks like a flower. Pink and white, with petal-shaped legs, hanging perfectly still on a branch. Bees and butterflies land on it looking for nectar. There is no nectar. There is only a mantis. What makes this particularly diabolical is that the orchid mantis doesn't even need to hide in real flowers. It just is the flower. It's so convincing that it actually attracts more pollinators than actual flowers nearby. It outflowers the flowers. It is better at being a flower than flowers are, and it is not a flower. This isn't mimicry for defense. This is a confidence game. This is an animal that said, "I will become the thing people want, and I will profit from that desire," and then actually did it. Number 4. The blister beetle larva group scam, synchronized. This one requires a moment of appreciation because the execution is genuinely extraordinary. Blister beetle larvae cluster together by the hundreds. They arrange themselves into a shape that looks like a female bee. They even produce a chemical that smells like a female bee. Then, they wait for a male bee to show up, and when he tries to mate with what he believes is a female bee, the larvae attach themselves to him. He then flies off to find a real mate. When he finds her, the larvae transfer to the female. She carries them back to her nest. They eat her eggs and her food supply and leave. This is a multi-stage operation requiring collective action, chemical deception, and exploitation of the victim's own reproductive instincts to gain access to a secondary target. These are larvae. They don't have brains in any meaningful sense. They are running a more sophisticated con than most humans could design, and they are doing it without being conscious. That's somehow the most unsettling part. Number 3. The cuttlefish. The one who commits gender fraud to outsmart the competition. Male cuttlefish are competitive. When two males want access to the same female, they display pulsing colors and patterns across their skin to signal dominance. The bigger, flashier male usually wins. Smaller male cuttlefish found a workaround. They split their body down the middle. On the side facing the female, they display female coloration and patterns. On the side facing the rival male, they continue their male display. They are simultaneously performing two completely different identities in real time to two different audiences, while standing in between them. The rival male sees another female. The target female sees an interested male. The small cuttlefish is the only one who knows what's actually happening. This is not instinct in the simple sense. This is deception that requires tracking multiple observers and tailoring output to each one simultaneously. It is, in technical terms, running two parallel cons with one body, and it works often enough that it became an evolutionary strategy. Number 2. The zone-tailed hawk. Disguised as the one animal no one fears. Turkey vultures eat dead things. Everyone in the ecosystem knows this. Small animals see a turkey vulture overhead, and they don't run. Because vultures don't hunt, they just clean up. Over millions of years, prey animals evolved a very specific lack of fear to ward turkey vultures. The zone-tailed hawk exploits this. It has evolved to look almost identical to a turkey vulture. Same size, same wingspan, same distinctive tilt when gliding. It flies with turkey vultures, mimicking their movements, blending into the group. And then, when something below stops paying attention because it sees just vultures, the hawk peels off and dives. It didn't create a disguise to hide from predators. It created a disguise specifically calibrated to exploit another species' sense of safety. It weaponized trust. It turned the concept of, "this thing is harmless," into a cause of death. That's not adaptation, that's a philosophy. Number 1. The mimic octopus. Again? No. The drongo bird. The scammer who scams scammers. The fork-tailed drongo is a small bird that lives in Africa and hangs around meerkats and other animals while they forage. It acts as a lookout. It has a genuine alarm call that it uses when predators approach, and the meerkats have learned to trust it. When the meerkats hear the drongo's alarm, they drop whatever food they've found and run for cover. The drongo then flies down and eats their food. It deliberately gives false alarms to steal food. This alone would be enough for a top 10 list. But what makes the drongo the single greatest scammer in the animal kingdom is what comes next. The meerkats are not stupid. They notice when the alarms are false. They start ignoring them. So the drongo switches calls. It mimics the alarm call of a different species, one the meerkats haven't heard it miss.